Tanah airku, aku berjanji padamu, menjunjung tanah airku Indonesia.
Indonesia, the largest archipelagic country in the world, with more than 17,000 islands and a coastal line of approximately 80,000 kilometers. And two-thirds of its territory consists of seawater, storing an abundance of marine resources, oil and gas, as well as marine biodiversity. Recognizing the wealth of marine resources and Indonesia's strategic geographic location, President Jokowi intends to bring back the glory of Indonesia's maritime through the strategic program of Nawacita in order to make Indonesia a global maritime fulcrum. Grown with a strong maritime tradition to unify the archipelago, building maritime connectivity infrastructure has become the top priority of the government of Indonesia, aiming to establish a strong subsidized freightliner known as Sea Toll to reduce price disparity between the western and eastern part of Indonesia. To support maritime connectivity, Indonesia is always developing its maritime infrastructures and resources. Currently, Indonesia has 2,132 ports and terminals managed by 287 port administrations, 5 Coast Guard bases, 141 ports open to international trade, 14,181 registered vessels with a total number of 20,825,038 gross tons, 500,000 seafarers serving both international and domestic shipping companies on a regular basis, and 250 shipyards to build all kinds of ship products within the country. In order to support and complement the development of infrastructures and connectivity, Indonesia has also improved its port service standard by launching InaPortNet, a single internet web-based service system that integrates a standard port information system to serve vessels and goods from all relevant agencies or stakeholders at the port. The InaPortNet application is currently integrated with the Indonesian National Single Window, or INSW system, and is supported by a reliable and integrated support system. Indonesia also demonstrates its maritime independence by the success of Indonesia bringing large container vessels of 8,500 to 10,000 TEUs in Tanjung Priok Port with a direct shipping route Jakarta to Los Angeles, America. The presence of these large vessels indicates that Tanjung Priok Port has now been able to serve vessels with large capacity, thereby making Indonesia's logistics efficiency even better. Therefore, the Ministry of Transportation Republic of Indonesia supports Tanjung Priok Port to become one of the major transshipment ports in Asia. In accordance with the provisions of United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS 1982, Indonesia as an archipelagic country designating 3 lines of ALKI, Indonesian Archipelagic Sea Lanes, which serve as a continuous and expeditious passage of foreign shipping through its waters. Therefore, the betterment of maritime safety through navigational technology upgrades and improvements has been necessary. Indonesia currently has 22 Vessel Traffic Service, or VTS stations, both port and coastal, spreading throughout the country. Indonesia has also enacted the Non-Convention Vessel Standard, or NCVS, for Indonesian flagged vessels under 500 gross tons in 2012. In 2017, Indonesia had also officially started to provide pilotage services in voluntary pilotage services waters in the Straits of Malacca and Singapore, which have an important role in international trade and shipping to ensure the safety and security for vessels sailing in the region. Indonesia has also endorsed and enforced the provisions regulated by the 1972 Safety of Life at Sea, or SOLAS Chapter 6, Article 2, on verified gross mass of container, or VGM, by issuing Regulation of the Director General of Sea Transportation. In line with the development of infrastructures and connectivity, Indonesia is also committed to maintain and improve maritime security and safety, guided by ISPS code. Indonesia has successfully built and joined the international network of long-range identification tracking of ships in August 2013. Indonesia has also established a National Data Center, or NDC, to meet the Maritime Information Sharing Initiatives and has improved it by changing the Recognized Application Service Provider, or ASP, in order to facilitate the sharing information through International Data Exchange, or IDE. To safeguard its marine and coastal areas, Indonesia has Indonesian Sea and Coast Guard with tasks and responsibilities in the fields of patrol and security, law enforcement and advocacy, shipping codes of conduct, disaster handling, and underwater work, as well as facility and infrastructure to ensure the safety and security of shipping in Indonesian waters. To carry out monitoring, inspection, and law enforcement in the field of safety and security of shipping and protection of the maritime environment foreign vessels operating in the territorial waters of Indonesia in particular and in the Asia-Pacific region in general. Indonesia also plays an active role as a permanent member of Port State Control in the Asia-Pacific region, organized under Tokyo Memorandum of Understanding. Indonesia has shown its commitment on marine environmental protection by their efforts to designate Gili Island and Nusa Penida as a particularly sensitive sea area, or PSSA, by a submission to the 71st IMO MEPC Assembly in July 2017 in London. Indonesia hopes that the proposal can be approved by IMO to minimize the negative impact of international shipping in the Lombok Strait for Nusa Penida and Gili Islands and preserve the area. Indonesia also has a strong commitment in strengthening the capacity of more than 500,000 seafarers by upgrading the curriculum and facilities of maritime training centers across the nation. In order to provide a better protection, welfare, and prosperity for Indonesian seafarers at sea, Indonesia has ratified the Maritime Labor Convention of 2006 through the Law No. 16 of 2016 on October 6, 2016. Indonesia strongly believes that this new law on the Maritime Labor Convention is Indonesia's major contribution to one of IMO's main duties, to protect seafarers at sea. Indonesia has been a member of IMO since 1961. And constantly contributes to the programs and activities of IMO international cooperation in maritime safety, security, and marine environmental protection. It's committed to continuing its contribution in the service of the international maritime community and in the realization of IMO's main purposes, goals, and objectives to safe, secure, and efficient and environmentally sound shipping. We would highly appreciate the support of the member states of the IMO for the candidature of Indonesia for re-election as a member of the IMO Council under Category C for the period of 2018 to 2019. Vote for Indonesia.